Hey, let's go ahead and jump down into the backup match. That one wrapped up in a relatively short amount of time. So let's take a look at the backup match, Prism Mirror.
Uh-oh.
This is live. This is currently going on, so we're watching it as it plays out, and that's a lot of board presence.
Yeah, that's a lot of board already for Sean. On the left side of your screen, that's your, I believe, top seed? No, that was a different player. This is just going to be coming in Parable of Humility.
This
fourth
is the
and
fourth
fifth,
to
yep.
fifth seed, yeah.
Restless Coalescence coming in now. One with Go Again. How about another? One with Go Again into, you guessed it, one with Go Again. Going to take Jacob Hernandez most likely if he's just not blocking at all. Down 2-8.
Illusionist matchups can look like this from time to time, but oftentimes by the time they look like this, one player is just spiraled so far out of control, and that's part of the reason why both of these decks are looking to establish a board and then use their board to position themselves better and try to remove threats persistently. So oftentimes you'll come into one of these matches and you'll see like both players sitting at parity on board, but when one player looks like this, it is a doomed scenario in a lot of respects. So Jacob trying to find his way back into the matchup by sending the Blue Herald of Protection over to the Merciful Retribution. No, it looks like maybe it's just going face.
Yeah. Wouldn't have Go Again if it's targeting the Merciful here. So it looks like he's deciding exactly. Just wants to get the two parables next to each other, make sure that they can hang out.
Yeah, it's three. It's three Go Again. Yeah, it's definitely three Go Again thanks to two Parables of Humility.
Oh, yeah. Very true. That does change things. We go from 5 down to 3 into a Herald of Erudition here. This might buy a couple of the Spectral Shields. Oh, never mind. It's only 3 again because of the Parable of Humility. Of course. Never mind. What am I thinking?
2 Spectral Shields on the board. Take a look up at the top. We didn't talk about Equipment Suite, but that is indeed Vestige of Soul at the top there, playing maybe more of a combo game. If we could look through the graveyard, we might find out whether or not those Tome of Divinities were played and used to gain this board state advantage. But nevertheless, in a tough spot is Jacob Hernandez.
Merciful Retribution pings when those ores are destroyed? Yes?
Should.
Cool. Sean here, all the tempo in the world. A lot of cards left in hand. Just going to start things off coming in for 1 with that Merciful Retribution. Got a Spectral Shield left over.
Currently doesn't have Go Again until you make a Spectral Shield, unless I'm missing something. Arclight Sentinel is going to come down. Offensive Arclight Sentinel.
Yep.
You know the type of position you're in if you play an offensive on your own turn Arclight Sentinel and still get to attack.
Yep, because now here comes the Arclight for 1, into the Parable for 1, into the Parable for 1, into the Spectral Shield for, you guessed it, 1.
Yes. Yeah, lethal, most likely at some point or another. Yeah, this is going to be a very, very... You don't like calling these things early. You mentioned it very early in the game. You feel very diametrically opposed to calling them early. I think you said that once. But
well, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure. But we might need to at this point because this is like that meme of, like, stop it, he's already dead type scenario.
It's just for the ability for the Prism player here to be able to keep enough cards to make a true difference. It's just hard for me to see what the combination of cards are with this board, especially with the Arclight Sentinel threatening to take whatever offense Jacob hopes to create on this turn. Arclight Sentinel is going to have something to say about it.
Yeah, 1 card in hand. Can it even remove the Arclight off of the board? Going to make a Spectral Shield. And that'll give you the Spectral Shield on the board that you can now swing for free, and that will remove the Arclight. It's going to take a ping from the Merciful Retribution, go to the Soul, which is, I think, the craziest part of it all, is like, because Merciful's on the board, removing the Arclight is also just dealing you damage.
Looks as though Sean might be asking for a think. The end of Jacob's turn. Pass is good. So 4 cards will be drawn from here. Once again, Merciful Retribution coming across. 1. Yeah, waiting on the Go Again here.
There you go. This is good counterplay because you can do it this way. You can also activate Prism to pitch your yellow, but this allows you to play around the possibility of popping a popping a Phantasm attack so that you lose your action point and then you have to pay extra that way. So this, by just sending the persistent Kodachi for 1, essentially, you're playing around the volatility of maybe losing a big attack, and instead you're just putting deterministic lethal over the next few turns on the stack.
Could have, of course, put the Tunic in front, utilize the Tunic resource, make a Spectral Shield with the Calming Gesture to block some damage, but looks like we're going to come in with another Spectral Shield here. Now might be the time to utilize that Tunic resource, make a Spectral Shield while the Tunic is still on the chain.
Yep, he's in fact going to use his own calming gesture, going to take the last card out of the hand. I wonder if Jacob even tries it. I think at this point he's just in the blockout simulator before you get just ground down in the buzzsaw of the Kodachi lock, as we like to call it.
There are too many auras on the field. There is a pitch outlet because there is a card in Soul. There is no worries here for Sean. In just a matter of time, this one's coming in for 2, looks like. Ode to Wrath makes any of these attacks lethal on hit. Let's put out another Ode to Wrath just for good measure. Now everything's got double go again, and if anything hits, deals 2 extra damage, or they lose that much life, I should say. These are all now must blocks, and unfortunately, there are only so many cards one is able to present on defense. Even 2 Sync Blows is not enough to take it down when Sean has the board that he does. Congratulations on Stell moving on to the semifinals here of our ProQuest Plus Living Legend event.
Now we've seen.
I'm in Max Game.
Oh, there it is. Yep, right.
Covered by that. Yep, sorry.
Actually, it kind of fits rather nicely. Nevertheless, we've seen 2 results from either side of the bracket because the KO and Verdance game, it was on the first side, and then this 4-5 seed was on the other side. So the Verdance Prism matchup was on the top side of the bracket. In fact, is it possible for us to pull it up? No, it is not.
No.
It's not possible for us to pull it up right now.
We're getting updates on the other side of the bracket right now.
Yes, indeed.
That's why
so he's gonna run and grab the updates there. And then I forget, it's a Prism mirror we just watched. And then the very bottom was
we have a Lexi Prism.
Lexi Prism.
And then we also have the Verdance Prism.
Correct. So lots of Prism. If you are just tuning in with us right now for this top 8, lots of Prism. I think 5 different Prisms.
4 Prism.
Yep, came through to
Verdance,
play
Lexi,
here in the top 8.
And the KO.
Yep. So we got a lot.
What I will say.
Go ahead.
Is it wasn't like necessarily a foregone conclusion. We saw what happened. It was a really fantastic early draw from the combo deck, the Rampant Growth into the Rampant Growth with the Sigil right away, drew whatever it was, 8 cards and continued from there. Did have to try to find the Arcane Spell and couldn't, but what they could do, of course, was keep those 2 Millennium Trees around for so long. I mean, once one Millennium Tree hit the arena, there was 1 or 2 for the rest of the game. So even though it did feel like we were watching the combo deck maybe begin to stumble just a little bit with the amount of draw they're able to present, especially even thanks to those Millennium Trees. Maybe it's different with more AB, but I do also feel like more AB means more of a defensive deck, and if more of a defensive deck isn't able to put the pressure on, that combo can just be. I mean, we've seen it already in multiple forms, just be devastating.
Well, we saw that play out with AB4 in Icelander. And Icelander had the reverse Uno of being able to rip that last card out of the hand of the Verdance, but they were able to then find on the next turn the combo to Fire Breathing for a bunch of damage. So that there was a moment in that KO game where KO could have started to try and capitalize on the clunker that was the top of the deck for Verdance, but Verdance, keep in mind, you have the ability to play that combo at instant speed, too.
Yeah, it's tough. No, it's tough.
So
let's check out the bracket.
Let's do it.
One game still ongoing. It is Summer and Trevor down there Summer's looking to win the best of 3 against Prism so far in this tournament. She's 1-1, battling against Trevor. Logan King, as we saw, defeating Aaron on KO. And the Prism beat the life gain Verdance up there. So your first seed remains, I believe, undefeated on the day. But another Prism mirror is in store for Sean Stell.
Yeah, this is. I would have loved to have seen that top game as well. All of these games I've been really enjoying. The Living Legend format. It's fun to revisit these old heroes.
It really is.
Watch them kind of play their game plans into these new heroes or into a card pool with just new options for them to build in. So I look at that top list and I'm like, I'd love to watch that game play out. Maybe we'll see a very similar game play out from Trevor and Logan if Trevor's able to pick up the win versus Summer over there down at the bottom. But if Summer picks it up, it'll be Lexi versus Verdance instead.
A lot of damage that Lexi deck can present. Also, Spell Void capability beyond just the gloves in the Shock Charmers, which can do some work against the quite powerful combo that the Kraken's Aether Vein gives to this Verdance deck. So we're going to let that final game resolve from our end, folks. Take a quick break, and once that game is ready, we will be bringing you whoever wins out of those bottom seeds, because we're either going to see, not bottom seeds, but bottom of your screen, because we're either going to see a Lexi or a Prism take on the, we know how good Prism is, but this Verdance deck, I'd call it a dark horse. I think it's more of a pure thoroughbred.
Well
looking
done.
to take down the tournament.
Spirited Stallion, perhaps.
Ah, well done.
Spirited Stallion.
What a callback.
Callbacks. Come on,
Yeah,
deep
it's
cut.
good.
Deep cut.
It's really good. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back shortly.